Have you ever asked an AI chatbot a question and gotten an answer that sounded completely confident but turned out to be completely wrong? Well, you're not alone. That happens a lot, and today I'm going to talk to you about one of the most promising ideas for fixing this. It's called Neuro-symbolic AI. And do not worry, the name is the most complicated part of this video. Let's start with you. Humans actually think in two different ways. The first is fast and instinctive. When you see a dog, you don't run through a checklist. Has it got fur? Has it got legs? Has it got a tail? You just instantly know it's a dog. Psychologists call this fast pattern matching thinking, or system one thinking. The second is slow and deliberate. When you split a restaurant bill 5 ways or plan a road trip, you work through it step by step, following some rules. That is system 2. You need both of them. Instinct without logic makes mistakes. Logic without instinct is painfully slow. But here's the thing. The history of AI is basically these two systems, built separately. Think of it like two different co-workers. The first is an artist. This is the neural network, the technology that sits behind tools like ChatGPT and Claude. Neural networks learn by spotting patterns in enormous amounts of data, a bit like someone who's skimmed millions of books and absorbed the vibe of everything. The artist is brilliant at recognizing faces, understanding language, and generating ideas. But you ask the artist exactly why they gave you an answer, and they'll shrug. They go on feel, and sometimes confidently, they just make things up. That's what people mean when they say AI hallucinates. The second is the librarian. This is symbolic AI, the older style of AI built on facts, rules, and logic. Think of a calculator. It represents numbers as symbols and applies clear rules so that 2 plus 2 is always 4. The librarian never makes things up, can show you exactly how they reached an answer, and follows rules to the letter. But they're rigid. Show the librarian a photo of a dog and ask, "What's this?" and they freeze. Messy real-world data isn't their thing. So, one is creative and unreliable, the other is reliable but inflexible. You can probably see where this is going. Neuro-symbolic AI is what happens when the artist and the librarian work together. Neuro for the neural network, symbolic for the rules and the knowledge. The neural side handles perception, things like reading, listening, recognizing, understanding your messy human question. The symbolic side handles the reasoning, checking the facts, doing the math, following the rules, and showing it's working. Here's a really simple example. Ask a pure language model a tricky maths question, and it might guess, because it's predicting what an answer looks like, not actually calculating it. A neural symbolic system does something smarter. The neural side understands your question and hands the actual calculation to a tool that's guaranteed to get it right, like passing it to a calculator, and translates the results back into plain language. It's like a great restaurant. The creative chef invents the dish, but the food safety rules are non-negotiable. Creativity inside of guardrails. This isn't just a neat trick, it matters most where mistakes really hurt. Imagine an AI helping a doctor. You want that pattern spotting power of a neural network, but you also want it to follow medical guidelines exactly and to explain its reasoning in terms that a clinician can check. Researchers have built exactly these kinds of systems where a structured map of expert knowledge, which is often called a knowledge graph, or basically a giant web of connected facts, keeps the AI's answers anchored to reality. And in one mental health support study, experts were satisfied with the hybrid system's responses far more often than with a language model alone. The same logic applies to banking, law, and self-driving cars. Anywhere we need AI that's not just clever, but accountable, able to show it's working, follow the rules, and admit what it doesn't know. So next time you hear neuro-symbolic AI, here's all you need to remember. Today's generative AI is an incredible artist, fluent, creative, fast. Neuro-symbolic AI gives that artist a librarian, facts, rules, and logic that keep it honest, not instinct or logic, both, which honestly is how the best human thinking works too.